Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered Senator Naya Abaribe to produce the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, in court. The judge, Justice Binta Nyako, gave the order in response to the motion filed by Abaribe to be removed as surety to Kanu. Abaribe had asked to be removed as Kanu surety following his absence in court. In response, the court listed 3 conditions which he must fulfill if he wants his motion to be heard. The conditions are that he produce Kanu in court and be discharged as surety or forfeit his 100 million naira bail bond. The third option was for Abaribe to request to be given time to produce the defendants in court. The case has now been adjourned until November 20th, 2017.
What transpired in the court is law. And the law has a clear provision for every other thing. And thank God, the legislators that enact the Administration of Criminal Justice Act has foreseen the situation that we have seen today and made adequate provisions for it. Either of 3 things. It's either a defendant appears in court when he's on bail, or his sureties must be invited to show cause, or failure of which they will have to forfeit the bail bond. And of course, the court will make a necessary order when the time comes in respect of the defendant who defaulted in appearing before the court. It's not a new thing.
Fantastic. He's in their custody. And the fact is that we are afraid as to whether he's still alive today. That is fantastic. I don't know whether he's alive. They are with him. The Nigerian army is with him. And we are filing a suit to that effect before this court, and it's sent to this court, and that suit compelling the Showamin staff to produce him in this court, and that is coming up on November 2nd. So it's not a mere accusation. We have gone further than that.
I call on the Nigerian military to stop this charade, and if he's with you, let us know. Give him back to us so that he can be produced before the court. And if you know you've killed him, for goodness sake, give us his body. That's all. As a friend and as a brother, I have a duty to do that, despite whatever threats we may be facing as a consequence of standing. I will never, ever not stand with a friend and a brother, even in his time of need. And I pray for Nnamdi Kanu. I pray for his family and all those that are with him.
I ask the National Assembly to once again rise to its duties, rise to their responsibility of auditing what transpired during Operation Python Dance. The President deploys the military to quell acts of insurrection. I do not believe there was any act of insurrection in the Southeast. But having done that, the National Assembly should please audit what happened. And all right-thinking men in Nigeria should stand up to say that our laws must be respected. Our laws must be obeyed. We must follow the due process of the law. That's what I stand for.
Nations across the world have been urged to strengthen relationships and interactions with a view to enhancing global peace and security. This call was motivated by the difficulties that trail the management of security challenges in the 21st century. It was this insecurity that warranted the gathering of key security stakeholders and actors for an international seminar in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. The event was organized by the Nigerian Army Resource Center with the theme Managing Asymmetric Security Challenges in the 21st Century.
Let me quickly point out that pure military engagements cannot provide sustainable solution to these new threats given the nature of their complexity and root causes, particularly as noted by distinguished military strategists. Therefore, the starting point for realizing the above requires the military to have an excellent understanding of how asymmetric security challenges and conflict mutate from later stage to violence. This understanding is necessary if the military is to continue to play its role in countering and managing these threats in the most professional way. Therefore, the reality of contemporary security challenges of the 21st century makes it a point of duty for the military to exploit new knowledge trainers beyond the traditional understanding of security that characterized the past era.
It is also imperative for the nation's militaries to identify new ways to counter and effectively manage the 21st century asymmetric challenges. To this end, they must explore new frontiers of knowledge to deeply understand world's new security threats. One way to achieve this is through capacity building and training that will enable stakeholders understand the character and characteristics of the actors involved in asymmetric warfare. It is pertinent to add that tackling the challenges of asymmetric warfare will not be an easy task given the enormous resources and the types of strategies required to counter it.
President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered security agencies, including the military and the police, to put an end to the killings in Plateau State. The president directive comes a day after 29 people were killed in a fresh attack in Basa local government area of the state, north-central Nigeria. In his statement, the president ordered security agencies to draw up a plan to ensure there are no further attacks and reprisal attacks by any group in the state. He also commiserated with victims of the incident. Still under President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday met with 7 state governors at the presidential villa in Abuja. The meeting had in attendance Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari, Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel, and Bauchi State Governor Muhammad Abubakar. Others are the governors of Kebbi State Abubakar Bagudu and Ebonyi State Deputy Governor Eric Igwe. The governors are, however, yet to review what took center stage at the meeting. The United Labour Congress of Nigeria, ULC, has condemned the statue of South Africa's Jacob Zuma erected in Owerri by Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha. President of the ULC, Joe Ajero, in a statement, also called for the immediate removal of the statue. According to him, it was wrong for the governor to use taxpayers' money to carry out such projects. He also demanded an immediate refund of the money used in erecting the statue. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday will depart the country for Turkey, where he will take part in the 9th summit of the Developing 8, which will begin on Friday. This was revealed by the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. According to Shehu, President Buhari will be attending on the invitation of Turkish President Recep Erdogan and will participate in an official working visit to Ankara, the capital city. Shehu also said the president would use this opportunity to discuss various issues including defense cooperation, security, education, and migration. African entrepreneurs have been urged to participate more in the growth of the continent's economy. Speakers at the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Forum all agreed that a public-private partnership is the best way forward for Africa. The foundation, which is in its 3rd edition, sponsors 1,000 African entrepreneurs with $5,000 each to grow their businesses. This year's forum was held at the Nigerian Law School at Victoria Island, Lagos. It's one of the largest gatherings of young entrepreneurs in Africa. 1,000 entrepreneurs from all parts of the continent are gathered here in Lagos for the 3rd edition of the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Forum, designed to empower young entrepreneurs by providing mentorship and seed funding to start their own businesses. Present at the gathering is Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who is here to have a frank talk with the young entrepreneurs.
It is a very special pleasure to meet you guys. By all predictions, you will be the wealthiest and most successful people in a few short years. I'd like to ask that you don't forget me when the good times come. Indeed, we have right here with us 1,000 reasons why Africa will work. And you are those reasons why this country will work. Across agriculture, ICT, hospitality, fashion, energy, manufacturing, entertainment, and many other fields, the breadth and depth of talent and innovation on display in the current and previous Tony Elumelu entrepreneurship cohorts have shown that there is indeed hope.
Among the key speakers here are experts from the crisis management sector, banking industry, and the political scene, all gathered to explore how public and private partnership can improve Africa's economy.
A change in mindset is required. From a very early age, young Africans have to be encouraged, educated, equipped, and inspired to be employers of labor rather than being employees. And that's really what I think Tony is trying to do. Entrepreneurship has the potential to be one of the most important tools for Africa's transformation. Entrepreneurship can create jobs and increase the middle class, which is essential in sustaining economic growth.
Our leaders are moving in sync with development. Clearly being here to speak about entrepreneurship is a vote of confidence in public-private sector partnership.
In his address, the founder of the initiative, Tony Elumelu, sought the assistance of the government in promoting entrepreneurship in Africa.
No one but us will develop Africa. And the world should rethink how to engage with and intervene in Africa. If despite the sum of $500 billion spent in the past 10 years, we still remain perpetually dependent and poverty reduction needle has not been moved significantly. And by the way, let us not be shy to say to ourselves that Africa remains largely underdeveloped. A new development model is therefore needed. A development model that embraces shared prosperity and local value addition and long-term investment, and also private sector development and ultimately entrepreneurship. Hence, Afro-capitalism.
On what the Nigerian government is doing to promote entrepreneurship and support SMEs, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says it's at the core of the government's plan to grow the economy.
What we have at the moment are several policies coming from several different government agencies. And we really need to work together, we need to bring them all together and then bring them up to scale. Because really, what we're talking about are very, very large numbers in Nigeria, very, very large numbers. So we can't do your 1,000, 2,000 here. We need to be able to deal with hundreds of thousands. And that's really what we're trying to work on now, to do an MSME policy that is big enough, wide enough, and covers enough scale to be able to address the problems that are on ground.
The 1,000 entrepreneurs here will be rewarded with $5,000 each as seed funding from the Tony Elumelu Foundation to start up their businesses. Unemployment remains a big problem across Africa, but by promoting entrepreneurship, the foundation believes it would help to address the challenge and make a big impact among Africa's young population. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says he will never return to the People's Democratic Party. Obasanjo spent his 2 terms as a Democratic president under the party and even became chairman of its board of trustees in 2007, but he tore his membership card publicly in the build-up to the 2015 election. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is again warning Nigerians against the activities of internet fraudsters. In a statement, the EFCC says some of these fraudsters have been extorting prominent office holders, including sitting governors, ministers, and national chairmen of leading political parties, using the name of Ibrahim Magu, acting chairman of the commission. The EFCC has denied its involvement in the practices, adding Magu has not mandated anyone to approach anybody to collect bribes on his behalf.
The search for the 2017 WSCIJ Investigative Journalist of the Year is on. Are you a Nigerian journalist or a team of journalists with investigative stories on themes from regulatory failures, corruption in the public or corporate sphere, and human rights abuses in the country? The Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism invites you to submit entries for the 12th Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Reporting. Categories include prints, radio, television, photo, online, and editorial cartoon. Submission deadline Tuesday 24th October 2017 by 4 p.m. Winners will receive prizes in cash and kind worth 1 million naira. For the full award criteria and other information, please visit wscij.org or call 0908-251-5179. Investigative reporting is the vital force for the restoration of human dignity. Wole Soyinka.
Welcome back. It's time for business with Ngozi Okoye.
Thank you, Fidelia. The Central Bank of Nigeria continues to maintain liquidity in the forex market by injecting $195 million in the Nigerian interbank foreign exchange market. Figures released by the bank shows that it offered a total sum of $100 million to the wholesale segment, while the SME segment received a sum of $50 million. The invisible segment, comprising tuition fees, medical payments, and basic travel allowances, among others, received $45 million. Nigeria's inflation rate has continued its steady fall, coming down to 15.98% for the month of May. This represents the 8th straight month the rate has fallen. According to the data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the current rate is 0.03 percentage points lower than the rate recorded in April. A separate food price index shows inflation at 20.32% in September, compared with 20.25% in August. It is believed that the rise in the index was caused by the increase in prices of potatoes, yams, and other tubers, milk, cheese and eggs, bread and cereal, coffee, tea and cocoa, soft drinks, fish, meat, and oil and fat. Oil prices turned negative on Tuesday as hopes of high U.S. production and export offset concerns that fighting between Iraq and Kurdish forces could threaten the country's crude output. The fighting in one of Iraq's main oil-producing areas helped to restore a risk premium on oil prices, although officials say the oil fields in the region were operating normally. Meanwhile, Brent crude futures were down 60 cents at $57.22 a barrel, and U.S. crude down 59 cents at $51.28 per barrel. Earlier, both contracts were up by nearly 1%. It was a bearish market for the Nigeria Stock Exchange today as all shares index declined by 0.8%. The market capitalization also suffered a depreciation of over 14 million. The consumer good industries led the gainers chart as seen with international breweries, Guinness, UACM PLC and Dangote Sugar increasing by 2.42%, 0.75%, 0.545% and 0.26% respectively. Some of the equities that had a bad day today include Nestle, Mobil, Dangote Cement and the Komu Oil Palm PLC. The financial service industry contributed to the overall volume of trade as it took the lead. Fidelity, Zenith, Guarantee and Access Banks had the most traded stock for the day. Meanwhile, activities of the NSE saw 3,890 deals exchanging 211.873 million units at 4.72 billion. And that's it on business news. We will return with foreign and sports stories. Stay with us.
My people, for Obodo, Nigeria, one infection don't surface in some part of this country with them they call monkey pox. This infection now from bushmeat, especially monkey, rat and squirrel. Now the fluid from this animal they cause them all. Person will get this infection will they get fever, headache, back pain, rashes for all in body like chicken pox, but no be chicken pox, na monkey pox. The only way to stop this ogbonge yamayama infection na to stop eating bushmeat. Abi any bushmeat wey don die, especially monkey, rat and squirrel. Make we try to wash our hand with soap and water before eating any food. Sanitizer good if you get time to wash hand regularly. Make all of our health workers dey use protective instrument, medicine wey fit cure this ogbonge infection. Never dey, but we fit avoid am. The Federal Ministry of Health and the National Center for Disease Control don put head together to fight this monkey pox. All other states make una open eye so that monkey pox no go spread. If you suspect any symptoms of monkey pox, make you quickly rush go any health facility wey near you. Our Oga Presido Mohammed Buhari want everybody make we dey kampe so that we go jolly in good government. Health na weto monkey pox. Now we fit chase am comot. Na Federal Ministry of Health bring una this message.
Glad to have you back. Somalia is in desperate need for donated blood to treat survivors of Saturday's truck bombing, which killed over 300 people and injured at least 400 others. The bombing has been described as the deadliest assault in the country since over a decade. Officials say it bore the hallmark of the Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab group, though no organization has claimed responsibility for the attack. Information Minister Abdurrahman Osman said Somalia does not have a blood bank and the limitations of its healthcare system was impeding the medical response. Countries including Turkey and Qatar are providing medical assistance to the injured. A U.S.-backed alliance of Syria fighters says it has dislodged Islamic State insurgents and taken full control of Raqqa, ending the rebels' 3-year rule in the city. Syrian Democratic Forces spokesperson Talal Selo said the fighting was over after a 4-month assault. He added clearing operations were now underway to uncover any jihadist sleeper cells and remove landmines. However, a U.S. military spokesperson later said he could only confirm about 90% of the city had been cleared. On to sports stories now. The 2017 Annual General Assembly of the Nigeria Football Federation will take place in Jos Plateau State capital on Thursday. The annual meeting of the Football Federation brings together the chairmen and secretaries of all football associations in the country. It also includes chairmen and secretaries of the various leagues, Referees Association, Coaches Association and the Players Union, the members of the NFF Executive Committee and management, and stakeholders of the game invited for the purpose. A Nigerian man, Ajaro Obaro, has resolved to run in order to raise funds for the Benue State flood victims. About 100,000 people were displaced in the incident, which happened in September. Now, the rapper man, as he is popularly called, says he is running from Lagos to Benue to create awareness and raise funds for the victims.
We're trying to raise funds and awareness for the Benue flood victims. I just came back from the IDP camp, and I'm working in collaboration with about 2 NGOs, the Better Benue Deserve and Cesar Empowerment Foundation. So my intention, by the grace of God, is to run 1 million steps, and every step will be sold online for $1. And by the grace of God, we intend to raise $1 million for another intervention stage empowerment of the Benue flood citizens, so that by the time they are coming out from the IDP camp, they will be far empowered than they enter the camp.
4-time winners Italy will play Sweden in a playoff for a place in the 2018 World Cup, while the Republic of Ireland take on Denmark following Tuesday's draw. Northern Ireland will take on Switzerland and Croatia will tackle Greece in the other 2-legged Europe Zone playoffs to be played between November 9th and November 14th. Italy, who were seeded for the draw in Zurich, will travel to Sweden for the first leg of their tie. Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.